How y'all doing? This is Brother Eli coming to y'all with testimony. I'm about to tell you how one conversation changed my life. You see, around this time last year, I wasn't living right. Now, I'm not going to be deep because I need y'all to get this. Everything I'm about to tell you is a true story, so just please pay close attention. At the beginning of last year, the only thing I wanted to do was get high. I used to smoke Crip, Kush, Mitch, Rex, hey, as long as it was weed, anything I could find. Now, my mind was set around this lifestyle that I was living. However, in my heart, I felt that there was something more that I was missing. There was just something on the inside that I just couldn't get over. My mind wanted understanding, and I felt as if the drug just brought me closer and closer. Every time I would hit the blunt, I would see different visions and signs. It felt good to be enlightened, but it only lasted a short period of time. Just the same as Adam, this tree made me aware of things. I'm being able to identify why people said the things that they were saying, hearing their conversation, but visually seeing the context surroundings. This awareness started to grow and caused me to start seeing into different situations. I felt no longer blinded, but I still couldn't see my next destination. Seeing the world for what I thought it was caused me to become depressed at this time. I'm having to battle low self-esteem, a lack of identity, and not being able to turn off the thoughts that were in my mind. A few months later, I started feeling the need to go back to church. Raised in it all my life, I thought I knew everything. But in my heart, I felt as if I was still on a search. I sat on the church bench, and immediately that awareness kicked in. I'm hearing everything that the preacher is saying, but I'm seeing it from within. At this point, I'm able to identify if a preacher is just talking just to talk, or if they're actually hearing from God. Only true preaching brings that conviction down on the inside. This led me to start church hopping until I ended up back at home. I was still in my mess, but the desire to really find God just wouldn't leave me alone. So this led me to my home church on one holy Sunday morning. I ain't gonna front, I was high, but my heart was still yearning. I walked into church ready to receive, and I sat where I always do. I paid close attention to every word as the situational irony started to brew. In my mind, I was piecing together the information that I was receiving. But it's not until I started wandering off that I actually started believing. My pastor says to me, I need you to pay attention. Immediately, that awareness caught me off guard. And I say, but that's the saying, she is always Jews. However, on the inside was that conviction that overweighed those context clues. It was different this time, as if she knew in my mind I wasn't focused. I say, that's impossible. How can she know this? It happened a couple of more times before my mind wrapped around it. Now my conclusion was quite unbelievable, but I knew I had finally found it. I'm gonna say what she was doing, but I'm gonna say this to make a start. It was not until that very moment that I truly understood that God knows the thoughts and the intentions of your heart. Now jumping back into the story, I say to my pastor in my head that you are reading my mind. Making eye contact and nodding a little, she says, pay attention for the last and final time. At this moment, my eyes became open to the true power of our living God. I paid attention to everything she was saying, but in my mind, I was still trying to hide. What tripped me out is when I started asking her all these random questions in my mind, and she answered all of them while still preaching. My mind wasn't where it should have been, so it caused this supernatural conversation to not experience the full climax that our spirits were reaching. You see, in the natural, it seemed as if I was having a telepathic conversation with my preacher. But in all actuality, she was just his designated speaker. I understood his message, and I vowed on that day to make a change. And before the benediction had come, I was completely not the same. It was kind of embarrassing having someone probing through my thoughts. But I realized that that was the only way to make me a believer, because I never took heed to his signs or his warning shots. Now, I kind of shortened it up, but that's basically all it is to it. And if you don't believe, you just simply got to go through it. This life-changing event showed me that God is real. And I'm far from perfect, but I have taken on the lifestyle, and I have made it my ultimate goal to live life according to His will. And that's my testimony. I tried to get straight to the point. But you're going to have to catch part 2 to find out how God scared me straight away from that joint. And that's really all. Thank you.